Please stand for the official party. Ladies and gentlemen, the school song will be played shortly, but please refrain from singing due to the COVID safety protocol. Thank you. Please be seated. To the principal, Dr. Jagger, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, teachers, students, and members of the school family, welcome to our 139th presentation night. I would like to acknowledge that we are here tonight on the land of the Gadigal people. The Gadigal people are the traditional custodians of this land and form part of the wider Aboriginal nation known as the Eora. I would like to pay my respects to both elders past and present and extend those respects to any Aboriginal people here tonight. Tonight we are honoured to have as our special guest presenters Mr. Robert Orr, PSM QC, Sydney Boys Old Boy, class of 1971, Miss Angela Liris, OAM, Acting Director of Educational Leadership, Mr. Eric Wong, Treasurer, Old Boys Union, Mr. Vince Delzio, Sir Roden and Lady Cutler Foundation, Miss Judite Santos, Foundation Chairperson, Mr. Sahil Hafiz, PNC Vice President, Professor Ron Trent and Dr. Pitt Trent, President, Sydney Boys High School Council, Mr. Nathan MacDonald, Sydney Boys Old Boy, Mr. Richard Halliday, the brother of late Stephen Halliday, Mr. and Mrs. Dennis and Linda Briggs, Life Governor, Mr. George Lukovitz, Life Governor. Current presidents and representatives of our sporting fraternity, school committees and associations, as well as past students at the school and their families. As the current captain of Sydney Boys High School, I offer you all a warm welcome and thank you for taking the time to share this important occasion with us. I would like to ask the Year 12 academic prize winners to make their way out to the door on the left to get ready to receive their awards. Shortly, I will be calling on our special guest, Mr. Robert Orr, to present the occasional address. Robert Orr grew up in Clovelly and attended Sydney Boys High School and the University of New South Wales. He has worked as a lawyer for the Commonwealth Government for many years. He was Deputy General Counsel and Chief General Counsel in the Attorney General's Department from 1992 to 2014, and as such gave advice to the highest levels of government and was involved in a range of significant legal developments. Robert was awarded a Public Service Medal in 1994 and appointed a Commonwealth Queen's Counsel in 2000. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Mr. Robert Orr.
Thanks very much, Joshua, and distinguished guests. I begin by also acknowledging the traditional owners of the land upon which we meet, the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. I warmly congratulate all the prize winners and their support teams of family, friends, and importantly, teachers. Well done. It's a great privilege to talk to you tonight. I was a student at Sydney Boys High School from 1966 to 1971. No doubt, like many of you, I look on that as a wonderful but somewhat challenging experience. I now realise that one of the very important things it did was expose me to a range of teachers and fellow students with a range of personalities, interests, views, cultures. This seems to me to be a key part of education. It helps you to understand yourself, a lifetime project, and very importantly, that others are different from you. Most of my fellow students will shortly meet for our much postponed 50-year reunion, and it will be a very impressive group of people. Any of them could talk to you this evening and discuss important things they have done and learnt. Everyone has a story. I've been a lawyer, and mostly for the Commonwealth Government, which is often a conversation stopper at social gatherings. But I found this career fascinating. I got to work with a range of public servants, politicians, community representatives, and in particular, it took me close to the key features of how our country is governed and some of the basic issues facing us. For one of these issues, I want to return to the Gadigal people. In May 1788, Governor Arthur Phillip led a small detachment which went to investigate the killing of 2 convicts. The party actually passed quite close to the site of this school. At what is now Little Bay, Phillip stumbled across 300 Gadigal people who were meeting there, perhaps for a ceremony which reflected the complex laws which governed their society. There were some important legal questions underlying such early meetings. Who was in charge here? Whose laws operated? Who owned the land? The British, who had been here for a couple of months, or the Indigenous people who had been here for tens of thousands of years? The answers which emerged and operated for the next 200 years were that British law applied and the King of England owned the land. Local Indigenous law and ownership rights under those laws were not recognised by the colonists. The practical reality was that Indigenous laws continued to govern Indigenous communities, but also there was a conflict which spread across the continent to dispossess, degrade and devastate its Aboriginal peoples. However, the answers to these legal questions were changed by the Mabo decision of the High Court in 1992, which recognised that Indigenous peoples did have native title rights to lands and waters. The decision was very significant, very controversial, and left many issues concerning native title uncertain. And I was involved as a lawyer in dealing with these issues and developing for the Paul Keating Labor government the Native Title Act of 1993, and then significant amendments to that Act in 1998 by the John Howard Liberal National Government. This included consulting with Indigenous people, pastoralists, miners and others who had very different views, developing policies, drafting laws, managing their passage through Parliament with the longest Senate debates on record, and implementing and defending those laws. The Mabo decision and the Native Title Act, I think, were important because they went to the fundamental nature of Australian law and society. They adjusted the racially discriminatory effect of what happened at the arrival of the British. They acknowledged regret for this aspect of our history. They treated Indigenous people not as outsiders in society, in our society, but as equal and important members and the holders of extensive property rights. And they did so by peaceful, democratic processes. Despite the controversial beginnings, the native title framework which emerged is for now broadly accepted. I, with others, have been involved in a range of other similar processes in my working life, including on whether Australia should become a republic and protection of the Murray-Darling River system. More generally, I think the Australian Constitution and system of government has many deficiencies. I have seen these up close. But one thing it now gets right is that on basic issues, it has moved towards treating everyone as having equal rights without discrimination. Everyone can have a say in our government. Almost all of us can vote, stand for election, bring legal proceedings. In the past, this was not the case, even the recent past. And there are still some groups who in practice are particularly disadvantaged in these processes and not fully heard, including Indigenous people and others. Also, our system assumes that people will participate and in doing so not only express their views, but also listen to others. Philip could not listen on that day in 1788, but even when he and his successors could, the European colonisation of Australia took place generally without regard to the views of Indigenous people and other groups. And even now, some do not listen and some are not heard. But the processes that I have been involved in and facilitated in my working life show, I think, that it is possible to have respectful discussions on difficult questions, where people with very divergent views and interests speak and listen to each other, and which can help address the issues which face us. This experience prompts me to encourage everyone, and especially young people, to be involved in debates about the future of our society. Find ways to make your voice heard, but also listen and show respect for others in those discussions. This reflects the principle that we are fundamentally all equal, though diverse. We all have a story that deserves to be told and heard. In conclusion, I again warmly congratulate all the prize winners, and especially those in Year 12. I wish you well as you head off to further challenges and adventures. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Orr. We now come to the presentation of the Academic Awards. Ms. Sarah Kim, the 2021 Year 12 Advisor, will now introduce the recipients of the Hsc Awards.
It is my pleasure to invite our special guest, Mr. Robert Orr, to present the Hsc Prizes. May I please kindly ask if you could keep your applause just right to the very end, please. The Alan C. Corner Prize for Physics, the G.C. Saxby Prize for Mathematics Extension 1, the Principal's Prize and Warneke Trophy for Ducks, Thomas Singh. The Henry F. Halloran Diamond Jubilee Prize for Chemistry, the M.G. Speedy Prize for Engineering Studies, and the P&C Prize for Second, Ryan Lee. First in Latin Extension, the Dr. F.W. Doak Prize for Latin and Prize for Third, Nicholas Avanatellis. First in English Extension 1, Jai Ru Lin. The A.B. Piddington Prize for English Literature, Dylan Vo. The University of New South Wales Prize for Mathematics Extension 2, Fred Yan. First in Mathematics, Safaraz Ahmed. The Frank S. Bradhurst Prize for Biology, Julian Waring. The Dr. Charles Winston Prize for Geography, Stan C. The S.H. Smith Memorial Prize for Modern History and the James Morgan Memorial Prize for History Extension, Thomas Brisick. The H.C. Fisk Prize for Ancient History, Quinton Le Smith. First in Business Studies, Martin Lee. And first in Legal Studies, Alexander Sears. Thank you very much, Mr. Orr. Thank you. Congratulations, Year 12s, if you could give them a round of applause.
I would now like to invite Mr. Brett Jackson, Year 12 Advisor, to introduce the rest of the Year 12 academic prizes.
It now gives me great pleasure to invite Ms. Angela Liris, Acting Director of Educational Leadership, to the stage to present the next group of Year 12 prize winners.
Thank you.
The Meakin Prize for Design and Technology, Nathaniel Andrews. Software Design and Development, Cyril Vivek Subramanian. The Class of 1937 Prize for Visual Arts, Matthew Arwad. Chinese in Context, Yif Wu. Drama, Kevin Fernando. Music 1, Kevin Chen. Music 2, Lucas Tai. Music Extension, Andrew Gu. Personal Development, Health and Physical Education, Kevin Luo. The John Henry Fraser Prize for Studies of Religion 1 Unit, Lik Seng Yu. And finally, the John Henry Fraser Prize for Studies of Religion 2 Unit, Rowan Tan. Thank you, Ms. Liris. And please congratulate with me the class of 2021. Now that concludes the Hsc Academic Awards, and I would like to congratulate all prize recipients on their fine efforts. I wish all of you the best of luck in whatever pathway you find yourselves taking in the years ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Robert Orr, Ms. Lyris, Ms. Kim, and Mr. Jackson. I would also like to add my congratulations to all the Hsc academic recipients on your results in 2021. The prize winners for Year 11 will be introduced by one of their year advisors, Ms. Jeanette Cook.
I would like to ask Ms. Rebecca Dam, Head Teacher Technology and Applied Science, to present the awards for Year 11. The Sydney High Old Boys Rugby Club Prize for Chemistry, the Prize for Latin, the Keith C. Cameron Memorial Prize for Ducks, Martin Lee. Please congratulate the Ducks. The Prize for Ancient History, the F.A. Elgar Prize for English Extension, the P&C Prize for Second, Hao Yu Wu. Please congratulate. For the next group, please hold your applause till the end. The Peter Walker Prize for English Advanced Legal Studies, Yu-Ming Lee. The K. Saxby Prize for Mathematics, Mathematics Extension, Saparaz Ahmed. The C. W. Wicks Prize for Physics, the J. Manchester Prize, Mithilesh Lecky. The J. Manchester Prize for Biology, Eddie Zhang. The Clary Martin Memorial Prize for Modern History, Landry Izor. Thank you, Ms. Dam. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Ms. Dam. So please congratulate all those prize winners. Now I would like to ask Mr. Peter Louisu, Head Teacher Social Science, to present the awards to the remaining Year 11 prize recipients. And please hold your applause till the end of this group. Geography, UNG. Business Studies, Varenya Taneja. Engineering Studies, Jackie Wu. The UNSW Prize for Economics, Danny Pan. The Prize for Design and Technology, Nathaniel Andrews. Software Design and Development, Kevin Keo. The Margaret Richardson Prize for Visual Arts, Johnny Baum. Studies of Religion, Michael Alam. Music 1 unit, Justin Chen. Music 2 unit, Matthew Kirkland. Chinese in Context, Jason He. The Prize for Classical Greek, Dean Nguyen. Thank you, Mr. Louisu. Please join me in congratulating this group of winners.
Thank you, Ms. Cook, Ms. Dam, and Mr. Loizu. Dr. Robin O'Driscoll, Year Advisor for Year 10, will introduce the prize winners for her year group.
I would like to ask Miss Madeleine Rigby, Head Teacher of History, to present the awards to Year 10. The A.H. Pelham Prize, The A.H. Pelham Prize for Classical Greek, the Science Prize, and the Sir Frederick Jordan Memorial Prize for Ducks is Ryan Wu. Please congratulate him. The A.H. Cos Prize for English, the Prize for Elective History, the University of Sydney Business School Award for Commerce, and the P&C Prize for Second is Landry Zhao. Please congratulate him. The prize for third is Felix Yi. Please congratulate him. The prize for mathematics and the prize for Chinese is Yuan Ji. The prize for geography is Samin Hussain. The prize for design and technology is James Lowe. The prize for philosophy is Mohammed Mejlej. The prize for visual design and the George Hilary Smith QC Prize for French, Justin Vu. The game design and software development and architecture and engineering drawing is Joshua Fuhr. Robotics and software design, Saxon Dean. The Howard Ruby Prize for filmmaking, William Wong. Sorry, Wayne. Drama, Max Russell. The Music Prize, James Waxman. The Edgar Bembrick Memorial Prize for Latin, Aditya Parekh. The German prize goes to Krish Suri. The Personal Development, Health and Physical Education and the Physical Activity and Sports Study Awards go to Saxon Goetzel. Thank you, Ms Rigby. Please join me in congratulating the Year 10 Subject Prize winners.
Thank you, Dr. O'Driscoll and Ms Rigby. Mr. Sid Gurjar, the Year 9 advisor, will introduce the prize winners for his year group.
I would like to ask Mrs. Karen Ibbott, Acting Head of Science, to present the following awards to Year 9. Please hold your applause until the end. Chinese, Geography, and the J.H. Killip Prize for Ducks, Daniel Su. Mathematics and the P&C Prize for Second, Tianxing Yang. The Philip Seymour Prize for Third, Kiran Nayaga. The R.K. Levis Prize for English, Visruth Anand. Prize for Science, Luke Palmer. the Associate Professor Charles Grimshaw Prize for History, Daniel Tan. The Prize for Commerce, Ahmed Mahmood. The Prize for Architecture and Engineering Drawing and the Prize for Visual Arts, Luke Tran. The Prize for Visual Design, Jaden Ho. The Prize for Design and Technology, Ranavir Torat. The Prize for Information Processes and Technology, Dean Johnson. The Howard Ruby Prize for Filmmaking, Patrick Newen. The Prize for Drama, Arav Gandhi. The Prize for Music, Samuel Huey. The Lionel Foucault Prize for French, Daniel Newen. The Prize for German, Finn Hopkins. The Jeanette Ray Young Prize for Classical Greek, Andres Stang. The Jeanette Ray Young Prize for Latin, Akila Gunaratna. And finally, the Prize for Personal Development, Health and Physical Education, Michael Lee. Thank you, Mrs. Ibbott. Congratulations to all prize winners.
Thank you, Mr. Gurja and Ms. Ibbott. One of our Year 8 advisors, Ms. Rebecca Mellor, will now represent the Year 8 advisors to introduce the Year 8 prize winners.
Okay, I'd like to ask Ms. Cassandra Pride, Acting Head Teacher English, to present the awards for Year 8. Okay, the prize for Mathematics, Science, Visual Arts, Latin and the F.A. Elgar Prize for Ducks goes to Xavier Perry. Okay, the P&C Prize for Second goes to Andrew Pye. The Norman Save Memorial Prize for English and the Doris M. Gray Prize for Third goes to Dylan Dutt. The prize for History and the prize for Design and Technology goes to Ayan Azar. The prize for Music goes to Rick Howe. The prize for Personal Development, Health and Physical Education goes to Aaron Bhargava. The prize for Chinese goes to Arthur Chu. Prize for French goes to William Chu. The prize for German goes to Jessie Wu. And the prize for Classical Greek goes to Brendan Wu. Thank you, Ms. Pride, and well done to the Year 8 prize winners.
Thank you, Ms. Mellor and Ms. Pride. One of our Year 7 advisors, Mr. John James, will introduce the recipients for the Year 7 awards.
I would like to invite Mr. Patrick Parker, Head of Teacher Mathematics, to present the awards to the Year 7. And please hold off your applause until the end of the prizes. The Gordon Barr Memorial Prize for Ducks, Delbert Zhao. Prize for Science, and the P&C Prize for Second, Adruth Anand. Visual Arts, and the Doris M. Gray Prize for Third, Lachlan Ewan. Prize for English, Timothy Tan. The prize for Mathematics, Michael Zhao. The prize for History is Muhammad Rashid. The prize for Geography is Kabir Madgil. The prize for Personal Development, Health and Physical Education, Rocky Wu. Design and Technology is Oliver Bukima. The prize for Music is Matthew Tranjabawa. The prize for Chinese is Alan Tang. French, Leo Lee. The prize for German, Baha Atwal. And the prize for Latin, Leo Tran. Thank you very much, Mr. Parker.
Thank you, Mr. James and Mr. Parker. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the academic awards for this evening, and again, congratulations to all prize winners. I would now like to introduce our musical presentation for this evening. Kevin Chen, Simon Traynor, and Mr. Robert Otomo will perform Losa by Emmanuel Seyon. Thank you, Kevin, Simon, and Mr. Robert Otomo. Could the prize winners for honour and distinction please make their way to the assembly area to get ready for their prizes? Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Jagger will now give the principal's address.
Thank you, Joshua. Special guest, Mr. Robert Orr, PSMQC, Ms. Angela Lyris, OAM, Relieving Director of Educational Leadership, Mr. Sahil Afiz, Vice President, Sydney Boys High School PNC, Professor Ron Trent, President, Sydney Boys High School Council, Mr. Eric Wong, Treasurer of the Sydney High Old Boys Union, Ms. Judith Santos, Chair of the Sydney High School Foundation Limited, Mr. Vince Delzio, CEO, Sir Roden and Lady Cutler Foundation, Life Governors, Mr. Dennis Briggs and Dr. George Lukowitz, guest presenters, Nathan McDonald, SHS 2008, and Richard Halliday, special guest partners, Old Boys staff, parents and prize winners. Thank you all for joining us this evening on Gadigal land. As it was for 2020, our major accomplishment for 2021 was to see out the second pandemic year in safety. Our 3-year $800,000 classroom modification project was completed. During lockdown, we also had time to carry out extensive drainage, asphalting and concrete works in the approaches to the Governor's Centre on the flat, and to complete our wall of gratitude, honouring more than 500 donors to this joint project. We managed to resurface the basketball courts, erect a storage shed for football and supply lighting, power and water to the barbecue shack. These capital works were delivered by a team with David Isaacs in design, Jim Crampton for restoration works in classrooms and grounds, and DP admin John Perellis for his expert management of the projects. My heartfelt thanks go to them. I must also commend the high staff who transitioned so well to the central student management system, along with bedding down more modules of the Canvas learning management system. Piling on top of the workload caused by COVID protocols and restrictions, their willingness to be involved exhibited highly professional cooperation and dedication. Thanks to Jamie Kay and Linda Pennington, Brett Jackson, George Barris and the Canvas leads who drove the changes. It was another extraordinary year in which the high staff engaged in a great deal of professional learning in a context of stress, anxiety and disruption occasioned by the changing public health and government responses to the pandemic. In ATAR terms, our Hsc results for 2021 were marginally better than for 2020, despite the fall in the league tables, which do not account for the quality of courses in which Band 6 are earned. High Boys achieved 580 Band 6 E4s, which is below our 600 target. The Atar average for 2021 was 92.59, calculated for 213 candidates with a standard deviation of 7.54. 170 students enrolled in 2016 earned a mean ATAR of 93.1 with a standard deviation of 6.95. The 43 later enrolling students had an ATAR mean of 90.59 with a standard deviation of 9.24. The 16-year averages for these are 93.21 and 90.58. So there was nothing out of the ordinary last year, one way or the other. 31 students scored 99 or better, 74 earned ATARs between 95 and 98.95, and 163 overall scored 90 or above. Pleasingly, our tail was shorter, with just 7.5% with ATARs below 80, the lowest percentage since 2015, and well below the long-term average of 8.89. We think that perhaps Canvas access to learning materials and our learning support team's efforts had a positive impact on this underachievement. In terms of Band 5s and 6 percentages per course, 11 were higher, 10 were lower and 11 stayed the same, most of which were 100% anyway. Our 2021 course means compared to 2020, 15 increased, 17 decreased. When comparing high with a statistically similar school group, 24 courses were positive and 8 negative. Thomas Zeng and Ryan Lee earned maximum calculated ATARs, and state rankings in their courses. Chemistry, Ryan Lee 1, Eric Ho 7, Auguste McNally 10, Richard Bow 13. Mathematics Advanced, Safrez Ahmed 1, Andy Zia 14 from Year 11. Mathematics Extension, Thomas Zeng 1, Physics, Thomas Zeng 2, Latin Extension, Nicholas Arvanatilis 2, Chinese in Context, Yifei Wu 2, Software Design and Development, Cyril Vivek Subramanian 6, Engineering Studies, Ryan Lee 10, and in Biology, Julian Waring 17. Congratulations to you all, and some more of the achievements are outlined for you to peruse at the end of your program. Tonight we bid farewell to the class of 2021, but before we do, I want to make some observations about our national context. It seems to me that our social and political institutions are showing the signs of increasing pressure as the pandemic drags on. People are feeling put upon and they want to push back. The anti-vax movement is disrupting traffic each day in the national capital. The issue of sexual discrimination and harassment in the parliament and the workplace is becoming a central one, as governments are perceived to be dragging their feet on necessary reform. Apologies and promises must be replaced with legislation and enforceable penalties. The amendment of the Sex Discrimination Act and the unravelling of the Religious Discrimination Bill in the form it was presented to the House of Representatives led to 5 Liberal members crossing the floor to vote with Labor on amendments to enact protection for LGBTQI students in faith-based schools. These actions demonstrate the rising importance of acknowledging diversity in our society and providing legislative protection against discrimination based on sexuality or gender identity. The New South Wales government was smacked by voters at their Super Saturday by-elections, another sign, I think, of our COVID weariness. Perhaps we might make time in the next parliament to address the intergenerational problem of institutionalised racism in our society. For 60 years in New South Wales, until 1969, it was lawful for Aboriginal children to be removed from their homes at any time and for any reason. Despite the Racial Discrimination Act of 1975, the recommendations of Bringing Them Home report 1997, the apology to Australia's Indigenous people 2008, and the Uluru Statement from the Heart 2017, it's hard for me to discern much practical progress towards inclusion and constitutional agency. It's arguable that as a society we're going backwards. In December 2017, 30.2% of Indigenous respondents to a survey said they experienced a form of everyday discrimination at least weekly. In December 20, the comparable response was 51%. In the last decade, there's been a 56% growth in hospitalisations for self-harm amongst Indigenous people. Indigenous men between the ages of 25 and 29 have the highest suicide rates in the world at 90.8 per 100,000 people. Despite being a small proportion of our population, Indigenous people complain about their daily torment of powerlessness. As William Butler Yeats observed in Easter 1916, too long a sacrifice can make a stone of the heart. News vision of the Indigenous man attacking a police with a tomahawk demonstrates the consequences of extended oppression, violence against the oppressor. So you young men here, as society's leaders of the future, must be in the vanguard of the fight for a fairer and more just Australian society for everybody, so that we can maintain our cherished, safe and multicultural society. Try to stop more hearts turning to stone. Goodbye and good luck. It's a privilege for me to serve as your principal. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jagger. The next section of our program this evening is the presentation of the Awards of Honour and Distinction and Award Scheme recipients. Dr. Linda Pennington-Wilson, our Senior Deputy School Principal, Mr. Jamie Kay, our Junior School Deputy Principal, and Mr. John Perellis, Deputy Principal Administration, will introduce the presenters and recipients of these awards.
Good evening. gives me great pleasure to invite Mr. Eric Wong, the Treasurer of the Old Boys Union, to the stage to present the following awards of honour and distinction. Hello. Would you keep your applause to the end, please? The Oswald Chapman Memorial Prize, the Mitchell A. Seow Memorial Prize, and the Linley Basser Award for Scientific Initiative is August McNally. The Award for Outstanding Leadership, the John Waterhouse Prize, the University of Sydney and Sydney Boys High School Leadership Award goes to Jervin Naganathan. The 1958 Merit Award, the Farage Computing Prize for Excellence, the Class of 2001's Prize for Outdoor Education. So Ike Matsusuka, Cyril Vivek Subramanian, and Neil Pradhan. The Old Boy Prize, Gary Liu. The J.W. Gibbs Year 12 Prize, Mithilesh Lekhi. The 1977 Year 12 Prize for Excellence, Jack Smythe. The J.K. Andrews Award, Riz Sharif. The Arch Ferguson Prize and the Carol Harding Memorial Prize, Julian Waring. Congratulations to these groups of winners. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Wong. I'd like to welcome Mr. Vince D'Allo, Chief Executive Officer of the Sir Roden Cutler and Lady Cutler Foundation, to the stage to present the next group of awards. The Sir Roden and Lady Cutler Foundation Incorporated Scholarship goes to Matthew Lamb. The Deputy Principal's Prize goes to Matthew Awad, Arnav Vansel, and Justin Lee Nonis. The Senior Prize for Creativity, Matthew Owand. And the Principal's Award for All-Round Participation and Achievement, Androsh Kandan. Ryan Lee. Nirosh Parabanaran. And Aaron Zhu. Congratulations to those students. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Mr. Shahil Hafiz, the Vice President of the PNC to present the next set of Honour and Distinction Awards. The Principal's Award for Achievement in the Arts, Gahaz Jordan Asid. Matthew Awad. Kevin Chen. Andy Du. Andrew Gull. And Simon Traynor. The Principal's Award for Achievement in the Arts and the Principal's Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Arts is Eric Wu. The Technology Innovation Prize, Ryan Ong. The PNC Award for Outstanding Contribution to the Senior Concert Band, Kevin Chen. And the PNC Prize for an Outstanding Contribution to Drama, Gabrielle Booth. Thank you, Mr. Hafiz, and congratulations to all those prize winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pennington Wilson and the special guests presenting the last group of prizes. I would like to invite Mr. Jamie Kay, Deputy Principal for the Junior School, to present the rest of the awards for honour and distinction.
I would like to invite Mr. Richard Halliday, brother of the late Stephen Halliday, to present the next group of awards. Please hold your applause until the end of each group of prizes. The H&J Charles Prize, Andrew Smallbone. The Jeff Tokley Prize for Excellence in Chess, Kerwin Ma. The J&E Saxby Bequest, Saxon Gerstle. The J.W. Gibbs Junior Prize, Samuel Huey. The J.M. and W.G. Forsyth Memorial Prize, Manuga Egadaji. The Ross Miller Memorial Award, Eric Sholton. And the Stephen Halliday Memorial Prize, Luke Tran. Thank you, Mr. Halliday, and please join me in congratulating this group of prize winners. I would like to invite Ms. Judith Santos, Foundation Chairperson, to present the next group of honour and distinction prizes. The S&P Sands Prize, Nathan Nguyen. The Scholar Sportsman Award for Excellence, Richard Bow. Andrew Gu. Eric Ho. Youngmeng Lee. Kushal Sreeta. And Harry Wu. The John Francis Bush Memorial Prize to Tarrant Williams. The Phil Ainsworth Memorial Prize, Billy Nguyen. The Harvard Book Prize, Dean Nguyen. The Special Prize for Services to the School, Kieran Vyas. And Aryan Zaman. The Special Staff Prize, Ji Ru Lin. The Philip Day Memorial Scholarship, Martin Lee. And the SPHS Best All-Rounder Award to Tomek Prijic. Thank you, Ms. Santos, and congratulations, boys. I would like to invite Mr. Mark Gainford, mathematics teacher at SPHS, to present the following prizes. The Peter H. Cappy Memorial Prize, the Mark Gainford Prize, and the Australian Defence Award for Future Innovators to Adrian Wong. The Australian Defence Leadership and Teamwork Award, CUO Gilbert Wynne and Sergeant Byron G. The Most Efficient Junior NCO, Corporal Hiran Zhang. And to the Major General James Norrie Memorial Prize, Sergeant Antoine Nguyen. Thank you, Mr. Gainford, and congratulations once again to all students.
Thank you, Mr. Kay. Mr. John Perellis, Deputy Principal Administration, will now introduce the award scheme recipients.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, could I ask all the award recipients to stand and go to the side, please? So the Sydney Boys High School Award Scheme has been designed to ensure that students engage in a wide variety of experiences throughout their school life. These include a combination of community and school service, as well as representation in leadership, sport, academic and extracurricular activities. I would like to ask Mr. Nathan McDonald to present the following Student Award Scheme prizes, and please do hold your applause until we have presented all the awards in each section. Hey, Nathan. For exceptional contribution to all aspects of school life, we are honoured to present the Joseph Coates Award to Matthew Oward, Justin Boo, Kevin Chen. Matthew Coe. Yu-Ming Lee. Kerwin Ma. August McNally. Neil Pradhan. Reece Sharif. Kailash Stanley. And Adrian Wong. Congratulations to those recipients. Now, the Nathan McDonald Award for Student Participation, the recipients are Sean Belnave, Arnav Bansal, Addison Chen, no? Kevin Chen, Androsh Kandia, Martin Lee, Mithilesh Lekhi, Yongmeng Lee, Adit Mahidadia, August McNally, Antoine Nguyen, Dean Nguyen, Ryan Ong, Joshua Suto. Yes? And Jason Yan. Please join me in congratulating those students. Now, the school trophy recipients are Arnav Bansal, Thomas Breshik, Dean Casarotto, Andy Dennis, Xian Jiang,
No, Sean, okay.
Andrew Gu, Joshua Lau, Ryan Lee. Ji Ru Lin. Ike Matsuoka. Billy Nguyen. Teodulfo Rias. Kushal Sridhar. Ajay Verma. Julian Waring. Gilbert Wynne. And Aaron Zhu. Please put your hands together for these students. And thank you, Nathan. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pennington Wilson, Mr. Kay, and Mr. Perales, and our distinguished guests. The final part of our program this evening is to recognise and reward the outstanding sporting achievements of 2021. To introduce the recipients of this year's awards, I would like to welcome the Acting Teacher of Sport, Mr. David Smith.
Can the recipients just go out, please, to the foyer, then come back in and receive your award. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The award of the Sports Blue recognises our elite sportsmen and their outstanding achievements within their chosen sport and within the GPS competition. I'd like to call upon Mr. Kurt Rich, the Acting Head Teacher for PDHPE, to present the Blues and other sporting awards. There are several recipients for these awards. It would be appreciated if you could reserve your applause until we have announced and awarded all prizes. Thank you. For basketball, Isaac Ayubi, Zach Taylor, Andrew Kim and Alec Ryan. For cricket, Anay Barua and Adi Nigel. Cross country, Reece Sharif. For rowing, Thomas Brisick and Adrian Wong. Volleyball, Zachary Luo, Andrew Lai, David Zhao and Blair Zong. Okay, now the rest of the award winners receiving trophies. The A.C. McGibbon Memorial Trophy, Adi Nigel.
The Copley Memorial Best and Fairest Awards, second 11, Ragath Malhotra. The AM Edie Cup for Australian Athletics Champion, Xavier Nath. Tom Russell Prize for Participation and Service to Sport, Billy Nguyen and Adrian Wong. Next recipient, fantastic effort, receives 4 trophies: the Beryl Crockford Memorial Medal, the Frank Albert Cup for Senior Athletics, the Sydney Girls High School Cup for Games and Sportsmanship, the Warwick Seagull Memorial Prize for Sportsmanship and Fellowship, Thomas Bresick. The John Skyring Cross Memorial Cup for Outstanding Sportsmanship, the W.W. Ivo Watt Memorial Trophy for Senior Swimming, Ike Matsuka. Thank you, Mr. Rich. I'd like to now ask Professor Ron Trent to present the remaining sports awards. The Brian Alsop Memorial Prize, Brian Arn. The Doc Bentavalio Memorial Prize, Annie Wang. The Claude Tree-Sider Trophy for 100-metre breaststroke, Adam Davies. Graham Pelger Prize, Max Russell. The Graham Pelger Prize and the Pierre de Capitan Prize, Saxon Gerstle. The New South Wales Sporting Challenge Medal, Ijal Sharathra. Race Me Water Polo Trophy, Jack Newen. The Alan Grover Memorial Prize for the Most Improved Coxswain, Itai Zemak. The David Brunton Gibb Prize for Soccer, Ashwin Rayo. The GPS of New South Wales Old Boys Union Council Prize, the Sir Roden Cutler Prize for Sportsmanship, Leadership and Commitment to Rifle Shooting, Jeffrey Lee. The John Perellis Cross Country Trophy, Reece Sharif. The MacArthur Memorial Cup for 1,500 metres athletics champion, Kane Shields. The Rifle Club Championship Cup, Jackie Wu. And the William Suthil Memorial Trophy for basketball, Isaac Ayubi and Alec Ryan. Thank you, Professor Ron Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the Sporting Achievement Awards. I'd like to congratulate all prize winners, acknowledge the time and effort they have devoted to the various sporting pursuits in the school. I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognise and thank a large number of teachers, parents, organisers, coaches, volunteers for their continuing commitment, enthusiasm and invaluable assistance in making the wide variety of sporting opportunities available to students of this school. Congratulations to all the prize winners this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Smith and the presenters. I am pleased to invite Mr. Jeevan Naganathan, School Captain of 2021, to express thanks to those involved in this evening's proceedings.
Good evening, Dr. Jagger, special guests, staff, parents, the recently graduated class of 2021, and students. This night is always special. As we achieve and improve, our minds often accelerate into the future, concerned only with what's next. What's next in the year that stands before us, whether you're entering your second year of high school, beginning the challenge of the HSC, or at the start of your future career, university, and adulthood. Especially in such an inconsistent present, we tend to envision the green grass on the other side and often lose track of the rivers we've crossed and the mountains we've climbed. But tonight we can reflect on our place, right here, right now, at the doorstep of our futures, taking in the majestic views both behind us and in front of us with a welcoming breath of fresh air. Witnessing these amazing successes and achievements instills a real sense of gratitude for the continuous support at this school. And there are so many people to thank for giving us this opportunity to step back for a moment and be proud of ourselves and our fellow peers. I'd like to thank Ms. Chan for her tireless efforts every year to organise this event, and all other staff that worked behind the scenes to ensure it ran smoothly. I express my gratitude to Dr. Jagger, Dr. Pennington-Wilson, and Mr. Kay for their endless support for all students and their achievements. I'd like to thank all special guests here tonight, especially Mr. Robert Orr for a wonderful speech. And I'd like to thank the media team and Miss May for their organisation of tonight's live stream, as well as every parent, both here in the Governor's Centre and those watching online, for bringing the energy and excitement that is crucial for today. I'd also like to thank our MC, Josh Suto, for his hard work today. And finally, congratulations to all award winners. And I wish you all the best in your future endeavours. I hope that you sustain your greatest efforts through the toughest moments, creating your own paths off the beaten track. And I look forward to witnessing your accomplishments in the years to come. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, Jeevan. To you and all our Year 12 friends from 2021, our very best wishes for your future. I would like to take this opportunity to now thank our special guest this evening, Mr. Robert Orr. And as a token of our gratitude for your time you have taken to join us for this special occasion, it is with pleasure we present you with this gift from the school. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our presentation night ceremony for another year. On behalf of the school family, I would like to thank our special guests, teachers, parents, and friends for joining us in our celebration of the fine achievements of the students at Sydney Boys High School. All special guests, presenters, and staff are invited to supper at the foyer after. Ladies and gentlemen, the Australian anthem will be played shortly, but please refrain from singing again due to COVID safety protocol. The official party will leave at the end of the anthem. Please stand. Thank you, everyone. And as said before, there will be supper in the foyer, and thank you for joining us for another year for our presentation night.